Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Eric Kohler, and thanks for joining us. This week, we'll go one-on-one for the first time with our manager of athletic communications, Michael Parsons, and we'll talk women's hoops with our very own head coach, Jim Grimes. But let's set things up and talk volleyball with the head coach of your volleyball team. Check out Andrea Rasmussen. Hello, Coach.
Hi.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, listen, I always enjoy your time, and we're in our last stretch of volleyball regular season. Talk about the setup to the end of the last couple weeks of your season.
We're in our final 2 weeks of regular season play. We have 3 conference matches left, and we're in a position here where if we win some pivotal games, we can put ourselves in a position to make a run for the postseason.
So what do those scenarios look like in terms of postseason? Right now, you're trying to get that third position to force a playoff, correct?
Yeah, we have three bids in our conference for the state tournament, and we're in a position where we could potentially be tied for third, or if we can win 2 of our next 3 matches in the conference, we could force a 3-way tie for second. So it puts us in a position to have at least another chance to earn our way into the state tournament.
So if you made it into the state tournament, what would it look like in terms if you were one of those top 3 seeds? When does that take place? I believe your last game is October the 20th. When would the state tournament start up?
We have October the 20th is our last match, and then we have that week off at the last week of October to go through the playoff scenario.
Okay.
The state tournament takes place the first week in November, and it's in Bradenton, Florida. And so it gives us 2 weeks to kind of prepare and get ourselves put together for more competition.
Now, you talked about October 20th. That's a special day. In JUCO terms, they call it's not senior day, it's sophomore day.
It is, yeah.
And you've had a fabulous 5 for the Titans volleyball team. Talk about some of those young ladies of being the backbone of this program for the past couple years.
It really, I mean, the girls, they speak for themselves. Their work on the court speaks for themselves. They do such a great job, and they have been a good core group of leaders on the court and off the court. You know, Malvise Ortiz is a stat leader for us on offense. Megan Grafey is a dig leader, is ranked nationally for digs. So she's obviously bringing a lot to the table. And Alondra Modesto is starting to find her footing in the game when she's peaking at the right time for us, which is really beneficial. And Mariah Minky is a DS, and she's doing some really nice things for us on ball control. And then our setter, Ludmila Bomfim, is a transfer, so she's new to us this year, but she does such an amazing job for us, and so it's really nice to have her on the floor, and we're really happy to have her.
Well, you know, as a coach, you only get to see these ladies for 2 years, and it's like, you know, you come into them, you see their growth from their freshman year to their sophomore year, so much in a short period of time. You got to be proud of some of these ladies, what they bring to the program for Titans athletics.
Absolutely, it's unbelievable the growth and development that we've seen in these 5 ladies, and even just since the start of this season.
Right.
So it's really nice to see, and I think that probably my biggest accomplishment or my shining achievement is seeing these girls go on and produce in bigger and better programs than mine. And there's nothing better than seeing them, you know, watching their matches online and stuff, and seeing them continue to improve and grow in someone else's program as well.
That's pretty good that you're part of that. Now, with that being said, of these sophomore sensations, the 5 ladies that you alluded to, do any of these girls have any looks for moving on in their volleyball career?
They all have options.
Nice.
So this is the first time that I've had an entire sophomore group want to play on and want to continue their careers on the court. So it's really nice. They have, you know, we're still working through the end of our season and getting some visits set up and narrowing down some options for quite a few of them. But if they should choose to pursue it, they will all have a place to go.
Well, that's pretty good. Now, obviously, you want to look for the postseason prospects. You want to go on the state tournament. What's the timeline after the season's completely over, whether or not you make the state tournament or not? What happens to these gals sophomore-wise? They continue with their academics?
They do. They continue with their academics, and we continue to work out. It's, you know, we do our best to keep them in shape and stuff like that, so that when they do go take a visit,
right,
that they look like they haven't just been sitting around for the last couple of weeks doing nothing. But we keep them in shape. We keep them busy, but we definitely spend a lot more time in study hall and working on our academics and keeping our GPAs up before the end of the semester.
So when these sophomores leave the program for Titans, move on to the next step in their careers, what are some of the freshmen that you're looking to step up for next year looking forward?
We have a great freshman group. Geez, we have so many of them. I see a lot of growth and have a lot of expectations for Delaney Smith, our girl from Orlando.
Okay.
Also Rachel Gunn, our outside from New Zealand. I think both of those girls will really contribute a lot on the pins for us next year. And I think that, they're not big vocal leaders, but they definitely lead in the way that they play and the way they carry themselves on the floor. So I think that'll set a nice tone for the incoming freshmen as well. But we have a couple of younger setters in that freshman class, and I think that with a full spring season of working with our assistant coach, I think that they'll really be able to run the offense that we need them to run.
That's pretty good. Now, obviously, locally, we had a big storm on the whole eastern seaboard of the coastline of Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia. What were some of the things that were affected for the volleyball team for Hurricane Matthew for your program?
Well, we had originally planned to travel to Hickory, North Carolina, and that was unfortunately canceled for us.
Right.
And so that was canceled, and we missed out on 3 days of practice. And luckily, we have enough local girls that we were able to send everyone home. So we didn't have any girls staying here on the coast. Everybody was inland and, survived the storm, and they looked at it as almost an early fall break, and they all really seemed to enjoy themselves, and the mothers seemed to enjoy having them home to cook for them and stuff. So it was not a planned break, but it turned out being kind of a nice little break for everybody to kind of get back in and refocus now headed into our final stretch.
But I know that you were excited about that trip because you're going to do some outdoorsy stuff.
Yes.
And it's also travel's really good team building as well for Hickory, North Carolina.
Absolutely. We had planned to take an extra day to hike and to explore one of the state parks that's right there outside of Hickory. So we were really excited to wear some cold weather clothes and not
jeans.
Yeah, jeans in the middle of the fall. Then to see some colors change on the leaves, and we were really excited about that. So unfortunately that didn't work out for us, but next year.
Well, looking forward now, you have a big weekend this Saturday. You have a couple matches. Talk about what's coming up this Saturday.
We're headed to Ocala, Florida to play Central Florida, who's ranked #1 in the state right now, and they have been doing a really nice job. We play them and also Pensacola out of the Panhandle, and I think they're 18-4 or something. Their record's unbelievable, and they're doing a really nice job. So the remainder of our season is really a good test for us to make sure that we're peaking at the right time and that we are playing our best volleyball at the end of the season, which is always my biggest goal.
Right.
Win or lose, are we playing the way we need to play at the end? So this is the time to prove that. And I think that we've proven multiple matches that we can play with anybody, but I don't want to just play with people. I want to be able to finish the match and put ourselves up on top.
Well, I think it's great. And talk about sophomore day. What's that date again? It's October the 20th?
It is. It's a Thursday night, and we're hosting Weber International, and it'll be a chance for us to take some time and really give thanks and appreciation to the sophomores in our program and show them how much we care and that we're proud of them, and can't wait to watch them play on.
I think that's great. October the 20th. Thanks and appreciation
Thank
to you
you
for all you do for Titans Athletics. This is Andrew Rasmussen, the head coach of your women's volleyball team. We're going to take a short break, come back and talk women's hoops. Stay right there. This is Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. Time to switch gears and talk women's hoops. With that being said, welcome back to the show, the head coach of women's basketball, Jim Grimes. Hey, Coach.
Hey, how are you?
Glad to have you back.
Thanks.
Now, obviously, your season's getting started, ramped up, very excited the basketball season's starting up. Now, one of your events was canceled that was going to take place, I believe, in Tallahassee. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we were scheduled to participate in the Southern Challenge Jamboree in Tallahassee this past weekend, but due to the storm, we were not able to travel. So that was disappointment for the team. That's a great opportunity for our players to be showcased in front of a lot of Division I coaches. And
right.
Of course, we haven't been practicing a long time, but we've just been seeing each other's faces for a few weeks. So they were really excited about going and sort of measuring ourselves against some other teams. So they were disappointed, but Obviously safety was our number one concern with the storm.
Yeah, and it was the right call. Obviously, that was a massive storm. Luckily, it's past the region, so we're all safe and sound now. But the fact that is, on a positive note, is now you have something very special this Saturday. Talk about that jamboree.
Yeah, the Southeast Juco Jamboree, which is held at Darton State College in Albany, Georgia. It's very similar to the Tallahassee event. A lot of nationally ranked schools, a lot of good competition. We'll get to measure ourselves. We get to play 3 games in one day. So we need to be fresh for that for sure. And it's also just a great time. We get to travel. We'll get to stay in a hotel, spend some time together as a family, as a team. We're all looking forward to that. I always enjoy that part of it, and I think the team really enjoys getting away for a little bit. And of course, a lot of Division I, Division II coaches will be there to watch us, and that'll be a great opportunity for our girls to be showcased.
Now, with this that's going to take place in Albany, Georgia, it sounds like there's some very strong, top-ranked teams that are going to be in this jamboree.
Yeah, these 2 events, they do a great job at Darton and both at Tallahassee. It's a wonderful opportunity, and it's sort of easy for those 4-year schools to come and watch 20 to 25 schools all in one place, all in one day.
Right.
So that really saves for their travel. And it's a great opportunity. You get to play 3 games, but you also get to see a lot of games. You get to sort of get your first look at some of the competition for the upcoming season.
I think that's good too, because obviously you want to play in the games, but then you can take it in by observing other teams and what their kind of tendencies are. Now, how is the travel plan look for this big jamboree this Saturday up in Albany, Georgia? Are you leaving Friday or Thursday?
We are leaving Friday, so we'll try to get practice in early Friday morning and then give the team a little time to get ready. And then we'll leave, mid-morning on Friday.
Okay.
You get up there, check in, have some dinner and some time together as a team. And then we actually play Saturday morning. Our first game's at 9 a.m.
Wow.
So
are you used to playing at 9 in the morning? That seems like your clock's not ready physically, yeah?
Well, we actually do a lot of stuff in the morning. We had a 6 a.m. workout this morning.
Okay.
Most mornings we're up and at them by 9 o'clock. We already had a workout by then.
So how do you coach up? These jamborees are something that happens quite often, but to play 3 games in one day, what's the mindset there to be successful with that setup?
Yeah, the main thing is most of the teams going into it thinking about winning.
Okay.
We want to win. We want to do well. It's really not about that. The jamborees aren't really about winning and losing.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, any time you participate in a game, you would like to win. But I try to distract them from that. It's all about our process, and it's going to be our first time out there. Want to see who can fit where. We'll play lineups we might not normally play. By the time we get to the 3rd game, some of those starters may not play as much just because it's taxing to play 3 games in just a matter of an hour. We'll have an hour break between each. We play at 9, 11, and 1.
Right.
So it's really just about showcasing them, putting them in an environment where they can look good in front of these Division I coaches and let them have some fun, get up, run up and down. The result of the games, the winning, losing is misleading. It's a running clock game. It's usually on a shorter court. It's not necessarily indicative of how you'll do during the season. And I think sometimes, especially players, they get more caught up into that. So I'm just trying to stay the course. We teach process every day in practice, and we'll do the same thing on Saturday.
Now, you have a young team this season coming into the fall. With that being said, as we have 3 games for this jamboree, are you going to change lineups? Are you going to change a little chemistry, kind of mix match? How are you going to work that out?
I think we will. It's again, another advantage of playing in these types of things. You get 3 games in quick succession. I pretty much am aware now of who will start that first game, but we'll mix it up during the game. We may start a different lineup each game to see how people react coming off the bench versus starting. So it'll be educational for everyone, coach and player.
Okay, now we have something really fun that's coming up on the 19th of October. It's called Titan Madness. And I know Jeremy Shulman, he lights up about this, and so do you. Talk about this event. I think it's coming into his 3rd year, is that correct?
It is. We're super excited about this night. It's a wonderful night for our program, our school to be showcased, specifically our basketball programs. Coach Shulman is obviously, he's all energy all the time.
I like it.
This night he'll be ramped up even a little bit more if that's possible. So, it's a wonderful opportunity. Our kids get showcased. It's a lot of fun. It's loose. There's a dunk contest. There's going to be a 3-point contest. We'll have a competition on the women's team. We'll have a competition on the men's team. Then the winners get to go against each other. So there's a little competition between the men and women, which the teams really get into that, talking some junk during the event. It's a lot of fun. We'll have some giveaways that night. We'll introduce all of the players, so it'll be the first time for Melbourne to sort of meet a lot
Nice.
of we have, like I said, 10 new players, 9 freshmen on our team. So a lot of that will be new to the Melbourne area. And then we have a scrimmage also. We'll have a scrimmage where we'll have 2 women and 3 men on the floor at the same time. So men and women will be playing with each other and against each other.
Okay.
Great fun for our team because they get to do things they wouldn't normally do. They get to throw lobs and alley-oops and do things we don't have those sets in our offense typically right now. I haven't recruited that kid yet, but we're working on it.
So it's loose and fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite nights of the year, and looking back on it for our past players, they always point back to that as a memory they really cherish.
So that's October 19th. What's the start time of that?
That's going to be at 6 p.m. on the Melbourne campus, and admission is free. So it's a great night. Come on out and support the team, get to know the team. Hopefully it'll be the first of many games that we can get the community to come to our campus.
And what's really great is if you make it on the 19th, me and Coach, we're going to do the dunk contest, where we're going to lower the rims just a little bit. Yeah. Are you up for that challenge?
I am up. I might need a trampoline as well. I might have to combo that, but I'm ready.
I like it.
Yeah.
So that's the 19th. Now you also have an exhibition coming up later this month, October the 27th against Florida Tech. Talk about some of these games as you ramp up to the season, what you're trying to get the looks out of the team.
Well, we're excited to be playing against Florida Tech. That's not something we've done before.
Okay.
I really respect Coach Reynolds and what he's been able to, the career he's built over there. He's unbelievable coach. Been a great friend and a support to me, really helped me with some players. Somebody I can go to for advice. This will be the first time we've been able to scrimmage against them. And of course, they're one of the most well-respected Division II programs in the state of Florida and in the country. They were nationally ranked last year. So that'll obviously be a great test for our kids. They're going to be playing against some older, more experienced players,
right,
which I think will be very, very good for us. So and it's great for Melbourne. I think we should be scrimmaging them, and I think people will be surprised at the level of talent that both our programs are going to put out there on the floor on the 27th.
Well, I'll tell you, that's on the 27th. But again, fans, join the men's and women's program. That's October the 19th in the Titan Fieldhouse. And Coach, you're always a great interview. I appreciate your time.
Oh, I'm glad, anytime.
Well, we're going to do that dunk contest. That's October 19th at 6 o'clock right here on the Melbourne campus. You want to keep it locked in as Michael Parsons, the manager of Athletics Communications, makes his first appearance as this is Inside Titan Sports. We'll take a short break. Don't go away.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Hey fans, welcome back to the final segment as this is Inside Titan Sports. Welcome back to the show, the manager of Athletic Communications. Please welcome Michael Parsons. Hey Mike.
How you doing?
Man, it's great to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
I got to tell you what, fans, Michael has been here for how long? You've been here 3 months?
3 months, yeah, heading to the 4th month.
And where were you before that time, before Eastern Florida?
I was at Florida Today. I was a sports writer, and I've been a sports editor at Florida Today. Was there about 15 years.
I think the first time I met you is when I announced some games for the Washington Nationals at Space Coast Stadium, so it's a small world.
It definitely is, yeah.
I'll tell you what, a lot of fans don't know how much he does behind the scenes for Eastern Florida Athletics. He really helps with the show as well as you provide the bullet points. Now, where do you find all the time with social media and all the stuff that you can provide for all Titan sports across the board?
Yeah, the wife's not very happy most of the time because I'm always on my phone, I'm always on my computer, I'm always somewhere. But, I really enjoy what I do. I've always had that thing where, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Right,
and
right.
That's how I feel, is I never work. It's all just fun, and I'm really enjoying my time now. I get to really just focus on Eastern Florida State and just really concentrate on their sports and what's going on every day.
I'll tell you what, as much as you've written for the local area, I mean, the explosiveness of Eastern Florida rising up in athletic ranks in such a short period of time, shed some light from your perspective in that regard.
Yeah, it really is crazy how fast and how big it's grown in just a couple of years. I mean, when I first came, it was Brevard Community College, and didn't really have a whole lot of sports and didn't really do a whole lot in sports. Baseball was about the only thing you really paid attention to back in the day. But now, every sport, it seems like you turn around, every sport's number one. Like we were talking about off air, the tennis team is the number one seeded teams in both singles and doubles in the national tournament starting today. it's just every sport seems like it's just blowing up now, and it's an incredibly fun journey to be on.
And I tell you what, and speaking of which, not only do the teams have on-field success, what about the new facilities across the board? Talk about some of the new facilities that are coming online for Eastern Florida.
Yeah, we have 2 more that are coming on. You know, we just got the bleachers done in the gym, and so when they come to Titan Madness, they're going to get to see for the first time that, you know, the bleachers are brand new now, and some of them have seat backs. I mean, it's nice. And so we have that we've added. The softball field's just about done. They're going to be ready to go in the spring, and that's all set up so we can do TV games for the softball team as well now. But that's a brand new NCAA, you know, division type of field as well. Lines are 220, just like you would want, and it's beautiful. And it's, you know, right smack dab next to the soccer, across the field from the baseball, so it's a perfect place for it to happen.
What about this weight room that you spoke of off air? That's something special. You
really
lit up when I
is.
said that to you.
It really is. They're just installing that this week, so that's the latest, and it is beautiful. I mean, you know, I've walked into Florida Tech's weight room and other colleges' weight rooms, and I walk into this and I'm like, wow, this is the same kind of setup. And the guys are gonna, you know, the guys and girls and are just gonna love this thing, and they're gonna be so much better because of it. But it's all brand new, state of the art. You know, you have like a little fitness area, and then you got your weight area. So I mean, everything you can imagine they have.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And Dr. Rich has done a great job with his vision.
Definitely.
And to be part of this is just a great opportunity for you and your family as well. Now, moving forward, obviously, women's tennis is doing great. Men's soccer is doing great. Women's volleyball, they're trying to turn it around and finish the season. And obviously, women's soccer, #1 team in the country for Coach Carr. Just really across the board. I mean, have you ever seen something in such a short period of time at the JUCO level to do this?
Not at all, and I tell you, that's why we say I'm so busy, is there's no real sports that you can say, well, I got to focus on this one because this one's better than, there's none. It's across the board. Every coach is doing such a great job right now that every sport demands its own me, basically. Every sport needs that, and so it's a real balancing act, but it's one that's so much fun because I always joke with the coaches that I don't want to write about a loss.
Right.
So keep winning. You know, I mean, that's the best thing you can do for me is to keep winning, because who wants to write about a loss? I mean, I'd rather write about the #1 team in the nation winning 11-0 again. That's much better for me.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's a great point. We'd be remiss too, obviously, women's golf and men's golf as well in their seasons. Now, as we transition, what are the sports that are going to come online? Obviously, women's and men's basketball. Any other programs that are coming online later fall?
Nope, in the winter we just have those two for a little bit, but baseball, softball, and tennis and golf get started right again for the spring. Before you know it, right after the holidays, they get going again. And so I get what I'd call a little break. There's a few weeks in there where I just have basketball, but then we get right back into tennis, golf, and play baseball and softball. So, and like I said, I'm pretty pumped to see the softball complex being used.
Yeah, it's right next to the soccer complex, which is already a really nice jewel right there. But to have the softball to come online, that's something special. Now, how many sports overall does Eastern Florida have now? Is it 11?
Yep, we have 11 total now, and you know, they're all very competitive, and that's what makes it so much fun, is right down the line. The coaches are great. That was one of the things that actually drew me to Eastern Florida was the coaching. You know, all the coaches are great, and I had the relationship with them before, and I knew what I was coming into, and that's one of the things that just sells you, and you've met them now on this show, and each one of them is as great off camera as they are on, and it just makes the job so easy.
Well, and I agree with you, too. I've had the fortunate opportunity to host this show and to meet these coaches up close, and I'll tell you, I love their energy. Yeah. It's what you see is what you get, and I can see why it's such a positive, contagious for Eastern Florida athletics.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, it's one of those things that you're excited to go out and see their team because they're excited about it. So, you know, every day is, you know, it's not, oh, it's game day. It's game day. Let's get going, you know.
I like it. Now, with social media, now what is your responsibility to get those platforms out there to get exposure for Eastern Florida athletics?
Sure. Basically, everything we can think of at this point. You know, we do Instagram, we do Twitter, we do Facebook. You know, we're doing some Snapchat. You know, we're covering some Facebook Live things, and we're starting to get into those kind of things. But really, everything and anything so that we can get the word out is what we're trying to do. And you know, it's one of those things where we're just experimenting at this point. You know, what works, what doesn't work. And you know, I'm old school in that, you know, I Twitter and Facebook a lot more than the others, but I'm learning more into the Instagram and the Snapchat and that kind of thing because that's where the kids are.
It's kind of like trial and error, though, really.
It really is, yeah.
Now, have you seen on the national scene, have you seen like a larger following and a lot more interest in Eastern Florida of our rise of athletics?
Yeah, I have. You know, our Twitter followers are growing every day. Facebook, you know, just the shares and that kind of thing's growing every day. You know, Snapchat, it's just the kids love that. You know, anytime you're putting photos up of them doing things. And what's funny with that, they like the things that are off court a lot better than on court. So, you know, we have fun with that. And that's one of the main things is just having fun, because that's what it is. It's fun. It's a game, right?
You know, speaking of which, when did you get into this? What was your first job before Florida Today? Or was that your first job in this line of work?
My first job was right after I got out of college. I walked in to try to be like a stringer, and that's one of the people that they just hire for a game.
Right.
And you just go out and cover a game for them, and you're not really a staff. And I had an interview, and they said, "Why don't you become an agate clerk?" And I looked at him, and I said, "I don't have any idea what you're talking about." And he said, and he started showing me, and basically what I did was the page that has all the stats, you know, the little type standings and all that, I would paste that up. That was my very first job.
That's pretty
So I'd
cool.
sit there with the hot glue and run it through and paste it on a board.
Well, I'll tell you, we're lucky to have you, and you're a big part of this show. I could not do this show without Michael Parsons. But remember, fans, this is Inside Titan Sports. We're on every Thursday. And remember, anything and everything for Titan Athletics, visit us online at EFSCTitans.com. For Michael Parsons, I'm Eric Kohler. And for Rob Landers, our producer, remember, fans, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.